and is very promising as to like what we could expect over the next 10 years, like an entire universe.
It's begun. Hello everyone, and it's time for the first episode of the Super Smash Bros. Cinematic Universe Box Office Records. And after that bombshell of a line from Chris Pratt, I knew I couldn't pass up this in a million years. So what we have here is a series that chronicles the weekly records of movies from the Super Smash Bros. Universe, just in time to catch the first week before everything changes. Because in just a few short days, the Super Mario Bros. Movie will be hitting theaters, and it will be glorious. Now, as you can see, this wall of movies is quite bare, but with each week, it will keep growing. And soon it will be accurate. Now, let's get started, shall we? Starting with domestic, we have the Blue Blur, leading the charge, with our first spot belonging to last year's Sonic the Hedgehog 2, with $190,872,904. Having the record of the highest opening for a video game adaptation to date, with a starting total of $72,105,176. It also has the distinction of the highest grossing film for Jim Carrey as a whole. Tailing behind, we have the film with the most famous production history for all video game films, well, after the Super Mario Bros. Movie, of course. That's the one with Bob Hoskins, by the way, that happened to be placed at the most ill-fated date for a film in history. Right before the plague. 2 months, in fact. So, after being the biggest success story of one of the worst years ever, it grossed $146,066,470. Next, we have a triple finish with 3 Pokemon movies right after the other. In the third spot, we have the first ever live-action Pokemon movie, Detective Pikachu, with Ryan Reynolds being the scene stealer, whereas we have Justice Smith being the lesser actor. However, this film does have appearances from the Super Smash Bros. Roster, including Pikachu, Charizard, Greninja, Squirtle, Jigglypuff, and of course, Mewtwo, which has the strangest voice for something that was made in a lab. And after all those appearances, the film netted $144,105,346 in domestic. Speaking of Mewtwo, calling all trainers, you are summoned to the greatest challenge ever. Prepare to witness the rarest and most powerful of all. This fall, training is over, and the ultimate showdown begins. Kids WB presents Pokemon the First Movie. God, I love that trailer! It has the distinction of being the first ever Pokemon movie and the anime film that has garnered the most profit. Not adjusting for inflation, of course. It got itself a modest $85,744,662. Followed by the Pokemon movie that took place during the Orange Leagues, Pokemon the Movie 2000, featuring Lugia. That one got a paltry $43,758,684. Oh, and I forgot one. I forgot Wreck-It Ralph. This fun little crossover film would have gone between Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Sonic the Hedgehog. Thankfully, it happens to be a movie that features Sonic the Hedgehog, so not too much of a problem there. It also has its fair share of other Super Smash Bros. Roster cameos. In fact, it features not only Sonic, but also Mario Bros. Bowser, Mr. Peeper's Duck from Duck Hunt, Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter, also a basic version of Pac-Man and an allusion towards Solid Snake. So yeah, the cameos are pretty stacked. But I will say one thing. On this channel, we will not ever acknowledge its sequel, as it killed Rich Moore's career at Disney. So, no thank you. As for this superior film that should have won the Oscar instead of Brave, it got $189,422,889. Okay, from now on, as to remedy my format, I will put 6 instead of 5. To allude to a full team of 6 in a Pokemon team. Now, on to International. So, as you can see, we had a little bit of shuffling after we went from domestic to international. Also, excuse the text. It's a little weird working with imported media like this. And trust me, it's gonna get a little weirder. So Detective Pikachu has volt-tackled to the beginning of the list, grossing $305,588,070. Then after that is Sugar Rush. Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph overseas is called Sugar Rush. Yeah, marketing is pretty crummy, eh? So Sugar Rush amassed $281,800,000. Then it's followed by our latest movie, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, with $214,548,614, followed by the Miracle movie, Sonic the Hedgehog, with $170,741,018. Next is Pocket Monsters Revelation Lugia, also known as Power of One over here, with $90,190,586, with a reported $30 million coming from Japan. Finally, we have the one that started it all, Pocket Monsters the Movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back, with $77,900,000. An estimation of the Japan gross was not available. And finally, we have arrived at worldwide. Well, would you look at that? Wreck-It Ralph is the first one, or Sugar Rush, at $471,222,889. What follows is Detective Pikachu, with $449,762,638. After that is Sonic the Hedgehog 2, with $405,421,518. And once again, it's the fastest thing alive, with Sonic the Hedgehog, with $319,715,683. Then we have the duel of number 150 with 151, with Pocket Monsters the Movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back, or Pokemon the First Movie, with $163,644,662. And finally, we have Pocket Monsters Revelation Lugia, or The Power of One, with $133,949,270. Last but not least, let's see what's coming up next. At the time of recording, the Super Mario Bros. Movie comes out tomorrow. And I have already bought my tickets. I'm going to see it Saturday. And I'll be posting a little video to express how I felt about the film. What to expect next is Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which will be debuting on December 20th, 2024. Featuring Sonic the Hedgehog, Knuckles the Echidna, Tails, and Shadow the Hedgehog. No word yet if Rouge the Bat is going to make an appearance, or Big the Cat. Also, heaven forbid Amy Rose makes an appearance after her failing at selling real estate. Man, there'll be a lot of new characters. Next is an untitled Metal Gear Solid film, or Metal Gear film, which has yet to be announced of when it will be released. Very likely it will be a completely live-action film, but here's hoping. Next is an untitled Minecraft film that's also to be announced, and that will very likely be not all live-action. And this one will be fun. An untitled Pac-Man film that's also to be announced. Not sure who's going to be making it. And now we are done. If you like the content, please subscribe, like, and hit the little bell. And next time, you'll see what has wrought after the Super Mario Bros. Movie. In the words of my rival, see you later, dudes!